The NFL is back, and that means Monday Night Football, and our Monday morning quarterback, Frank Holmes, joins us next. Frank, good to be with you.
It's good to be here. And it's a beautiful city. They've totally renovated and refurbished all of downtown. It's one of the earliest cities to do it. It's just so delightful to see the downtown as I went for my morning run.
Frank, hopefully you'll give us a tour after of Baltimore, but now let's talk data. And as we all know, last week was an important week for economic data. We had U.S. non-farm payrolls come out weaker than expected, yet the metal, gold, remaining under pressure. What do you make of gold's position this Monday morning, which continues towards the downtrend here, Frank?
Well, I think the big number last week was the ISM numbers, which is the equivalent of PMI, Purchasing Manufacturers Index, which is a reflection of confidence in purchasing for the next 6 months. And it was a barn burner. It was spectacular. And that just made the dollar surge because Europe has woes, and Europe's is basically gone to negative real interest rates right across the board. And this is making it, they're trying to have a monetary stimulus. So the euro's weak, and they want to get the euro down to parity or as close to parity to the dollar. So gold is always priced in dollar terms. So a strong dollar relative to the euro makes gold decline. It doesn't take away from poor government policies underlining it, but short term, it does have a significant impact on the price of gold.
Frank, you mentioned currency. In which currency would you say gold is performing the best right now?
In euro terms, if you took a look at Kitco's charts and you were to print and take a look at a major economic power, people have to remember that Europe as an entity trades more with China than America. So if Europe starts to slow down, it starts having a negative impact on economic development in China. This is the big trigger last week, was China's negative news being pushed around because of lack of exports and economic relationships. Just growth with Europe is impacting these two countries.
Frank, let's get to our OT segment now. Opportunities and threats for the gold market. As always, let's start with opportunities. HSBC saying they expect central bank purchases to increase in 2015, Frank.
Well, I think it's going to continue because smart central bankers are recognizing it's all a race to zero on devaluing the currencies. So right now, it's Europe that has to devalue their currency to stimulate the economy because there's a lack of real fiscal discipline. And that is, where they're going to streamline all the regulations and taxes to stimulate economic activity. Now, what's positive for gold is India. Yes, there's the restrictions of gold coming in for the festive season. However, GDP per capita has turned up. The stock market has turned up. And that's more important than for the consumption of gold.
Frank, and you mentioned economic growth and the OECD coming out saying they expect economic growth is likely to remain at modest levels for most of the world's large economies over the coming months. What do you make of this?
Well, it would only propel them higher if everything goes to zero interest rates and maintains that. I think that's the key factor, is negative real interest rates is the most significant factor. So the U.S. all of a sudden sees a 10-year government bond go negative, and Europe is negative real interest rates, what the governments are offering to get cash, then you're going to see the price of gold rise dramatically.
Let's get to our threats now, Frank. Now, besides the U.S. dollar index, which is obviously pressuring gold, what about gold supply? You mentioned this could be a threat in your morning commentary. Yes,
and we're seeing that out of Australia, 9%, and more significant is Russia increasing its gold production by over 20%. I think the big factor is that Australians will sell their gold. However, Russia has been buying gold and has been consuming all of their own domestic gold, which really amazes me because Russia, his stock market really hasn't collapsed with this whole war and the anti-policies around the world against Putin and his gang, that we are seeing that rates have risen dramatically in Russia. This economy will slow down, but it's protected with the ruble. So it's a lot of money has been going into buying rubles rather than buying euros, which have a negative rate of return.
Great, Frank. Let's wrap it up now with your touchdown pass of the week.
Well, I think we have to take a look at Thursday, Friday. We're going to come up with consumer confidence numbers to make sure the sentiment in the U.S. is maintaining itself. I think that'll be a key factor of looking around the world because the U.S. right now is showing economic leadership.
Frank, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. And thanks for watching this edition of Gold Game Film with Frank Holmes. We'll We'll have lots more videos for you throughout the week. In the meantime, email us at newsfeedback@kitco.com. Thanks for watching.